Morning, y'all. So yesterday I had a very sweet young lady ask me for a journal that had Jaguars on the cover, and she wanted white paper inside so that she could write in it. I asked her if she wanted to do art in it and if she wanted mixed media paper, and she says, no ma'am, I want to be able to write in it. So I found these digital prints on Etsy of Jaguars. They're really pretty. From Pawsome Digital Print Shop. Let me make sure I'm saying that correctly. No, it is Pawsome Digital Designs. So I'm going to be using this set. There were 24 images and I chose some, but I did want to add some pages inside for her that just had pictures on one side where she could write on the other side. So I printed these and I started cutting them out, and I thought, no, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and do a video. It's just going to be a simple journal. They're really pretty images, and I chose this one for the cover. So these are the pages. So I'm just cutting these down. Now I did print these 2 per page to get them this size because they were full size, full page images. And I also printed them in high quality because the ones that I originally printed were streaky because of all the dark colors. I don't know if you can see, it was just really streaky how it printed. So I did print these in high quality. So the first thing I'm doing, obviously, is just taking the white space off the top and the bottom. And then this image will be for the cover. I'm gonna save that. And I'm gonna go and either find some pretty paper to make the cover with, or I'm gonna paint a cover. Now I'm leaving the edges like they are for now because I know as I fold these pages up, what's going to happen is these edges are going to get thicker, and as you layer pages and you fold them, they start doing this a little bit. So then after I fold all the pages, I will cut the edges all flush with one another so that they fit in the journal nicely and they're not cascading out along the edge. So I'm gonna go and fold all these up, cut down some more cardstock to go in between for blank pages for her to write on, and then I will be back. Okay, so I have folded all my pages, cut them all down to size, the printed pages and the blank pages. And this is where I was talking about the edge getting thicker and cascading out. So I will trim this edge off to fit inside of the journal cover where these are all the same width when they're in the cover. Now, in the meantime, I found 2 sheets of goldenrod paper that I had left from another project. And I thought these would be good for the cover because this color just makes the panthers really pop. And then I saved a sheet of the double-sided prints to use on the inside of the cover on the front and back. So, and I love the color of this paper. I do have a little crinkle here. I tried to iron it out, but it's not ironing out. So it is what it is. So I have 2 sheets of goldenrod and a sheet of cardstock here. And yesterday she was playing with frozen leaves, and being that these have so many leaves and flowers in the background, I pulled out this stamp that has little vining flowers on it, and I'm going to stamp that goldenrod paper with this stamp just to decorate it a little bit so it's not so plain. So I am going to do that on a piece of scrap paper with some black Stays-On ink, because I want it to be permanent ink where if she's touching the cover, I don't want any ink to come off on her fingers and go into the white pages inside of the journal. So now I have a front and a back, and I will glue these onto this piece of cardstock, and it'll make a thicker cover. So now I need to measure and cut my journal cover down to fit the pages. I want my journal cover 1/4 of an inch taller than my journal pages. Oh, and I think she's gonna get a couple of bookmarks probably out of that, or paper clips or something. Now, when I cut my pages down in width, okay, now I'm gonna take this and I'm going to score it so that I can fold it in half. So I'm gonna score it right down the middle. And then I want to give a little bit of an easement because these pages are pretty thick. So I'll come out 1/4 of an inch on each side of the middle line and score another line so that the spine of the journal doesn't crack from pressure when she's using it because the pages are so thick. So I scored it 5 1/4 because this is a 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper originally. So the center is going to be at 5 1/2, and then I'll also score at 5 1/4 and 5 3/4. And then I will fold that cover on the middle score line. So this is where the center of the cover will be. And that's where I will stitch the pages into. Okay, so I've cut these flush now, and I'm just gonna take a little tiny bit off the edge of this cover. So that it's square, so that I know it's square. Okay. Now I'm going to take this to my sewing machine and stitch around the edge. Straight stitch. And here I'm just adding a little bit of glue to make sure the stitches hold in place. Okay, so now I've stitched the cover, but this was supposed to be the outside, and this was supposed to be the inside. So change of plans. I'll put an image on the front and back, and then an image on this side, and leave this one. Yep. So this will actually be the front cover. And the pages fit nicely in here now. So I'm going to go ahead and finish the cover. So I'm going to cut around this a little bit more. Kind of like that. Yep. Okay. And then, so let's start cutting this guy down for the back. I'm okay with that. Is that what I'm going to do? Yep. And then on the inside cover, I want this one. I like that better. Okay. So now I'm going to glue all these pieces onto the cover. Okay. I have added the images to the front and back cover and the inside of the cover. And I need to stitch the pages into the journal. I'm going to be using a 3-hole pamphlet stitch, and I decided to use orange thread for this one. So I'll measure 3 lengths. Roundabout-ish. Of string. Okay. And then I will get the dictionary that I use as a book cradle out. And I have all of my templates in here for punching my pamphlet stitch holes. Let's see. Too tall. This one's pretty close. We'll use that one. So the first thing I want to do is make sure my pages are lined up with where I want them in the cover. Up a little bit. Find the center. Put my template in here. Use my awl. My makeshift awl. I got this at either Home Depot or Harbor Freight. Punch my holes with my templates. Okay. I'm gonna use this piece of scrap to mark that. I have a blunt end plastic embroidery needle that I use to stitch my books together. Okay, and I'm going to start on the inside. With little hair pliers that I use to help pull that through. Hold on to that string. Back through the middle. Now I just want to even out my strings. I have one that's way too long. So I'll just fidget with this till I get it how I want it. And I need one string on one side of this middle long string and one string on the other side. And then I'll pull them just tight. Tie this in a knot. And then tie it into a bow. And then I'll take a pair of scissors. That loop's a little long. And I'll just clip this off. Okay. And now I will go through and press on these pages so that they conform to being inside of a book. Now they need a little bit of a curve on this inside edge. Okay. So the journal is done. I don't think I'm gonna add a closure to it. I do think that I will either add, let me see what I have. So we'll go with the big clip. That'll be fine. And then on the next video, I will make, I think I'm gonna make her 2 bookmarks because she likes to read too. So I think I'm gonna turn this into a couple of bookmarks to go along with the journal. Thanks for watching, y'all.